In this video, we'll be wrapping up the class library written in pure Lua. We're going to be implementing inheritance and moving all of the construction of instances to the actual class objects. If you want to follow along with this project and more, make sure to subscribe. The source code will be linked in the description below. So with that said, let's get started. So where we left off in the last video is we generate the private prefix that we add to all of the members, which obfuscates the variable members that are part of the class. And we also created default constructors as well. So what we're going to do, a lot of what I want to do in this video has already been done, so we don't really have to change too much. The only real thing we have to change is, instead of having a class index for all of our classes, we're just going to return this new table, which we're going to by default set the index to class for the meta table. Set this private. Actually, we're going to change a couple of things as well. We're going to change the private variable, which contains the... So this is going to just mark the class as being private. If private, then we generate this prefix, save the prefix, save the arguments, save default arguments, return the table. And in here, for the new, we're going to change this. So we no longer need to check that the class exists. Actually, did we fix this yet? No. So we're going to go back and basically get rid of all of the code that has anything to do with our class index, because we no longer need that stuff. And I just want to get that out of the way. And this is actually going to take a new variable called self_in. We're going to change this to the length of self.args. This is still args. Self. Oh, that doesn't need a length on it. Defaults is going to be self default args. Construct a new table, set the index to self. For new index, self. And I think everything else is good, except for this. We don't need this anymore. Oh, and we can move the indents one over. Turn a new instance. And we really don't need this anymore. We don't need the methods. We don't need the new method stuff. Everything else, this is not necessary. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. We still need to save the name. There. So that's most of the work done. And the way we can check this is when we go to new class, all you just have to say is test equals class new class. Send all of that in. For this, instead of doing a new method call, we say test dot get data. Here, I actually want to keep that there. So we say test dot get equals function that takes in self. Oh, nope. It just needs to be set to function. And I could make this one line and instead just save that, but we're just going to leave it like that. And we don't need that anymore. And here we're just going to say test dot get name equals function self Parent self underscore prefix dot name. That looks like it should work. I don't need that anymore. Test2 equals class new. Oh no, this is a new instance. So we'll say test. This is the new class. So we'll say test2 equals class new class. That looks good. And we'll say underscore test2 equals test new. We pass in the args. And we pass in args. Okay, down here we'll change it to test toString test, and we'll see if this works. Temp index default value for our PTO9 value class 69. Line 18. So I have to look at which one. Oh, I think I know why. Args. Name args default b5. There. I missed that as well. And I changed this to a lowercase. 29. To bad argument to print, you got nil. Is that not setting? Maybe we do need to do that. We'll say test.get all data, and hopefully it'll return the right thing. It does not. Test new. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's saying that there are no values. So that might be a problem with the function itself. Self args, arg count. It might be this. It might be the new index line. Yep, it was the new index line. Alright, so now that we have all of the construction being done with objects, which was a very quick implementation, the last couple of things we need to do is inheritance. So for inheritance, we actually need a new function for the class object. And we're going to say is a. And I think we're gonna do, see, self, parents, and args. Yeah, that should work. So first of all, we're going to say if the length of parent.args is greater than the length of args, then we're going to assert out and say child cannot have less arguments. Parent. And because that will end the program. So then if we keep going, what we'll say is local arg offset equals length of parent. Oh, sorry, length of parent.args. And so what we're going to do is create a new table, local table, t, and we're going to say set meta table for t equal to table index equals parent. Oh. Parent child name. And then we'll say toString equals function t return t underscore name end. Okay. Now, when we do the arguments, do we need the arg offset? No, because the child is going to have the arg's names anyway. So we're basically going to model this after the new class, but it's going to be slightly different in the way that it's constructed. So it's basically doing the same thing right now. We're going to say t.__ private equals parent private, because we don't want to make it so that a child has a different state than a parent, because no, I think it's fine. I think we should pass that value in. So we'll say t.private equals b private. And then we'll say t name equals child name. If b private equal to true, then we'll make a new prefix for k, b in pairs of args do k equals prefix v. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, we should fix that up here as well. And we'll say the prefix is equal to prefix. Now, t.args is going to equal args. Ooh, we need defaults too. So if the args is a table, then what we do is say default args equals default, and then we return t. So if you look, it's very similar to this function. The difference is, I don't think we need self in there, do we? No, because we're gonna call it on. Okay, so we're going, when we use it, first of all, I want to get rid of the test2 case. Because we don't really need it anymore. What we're gonna do to test this is say that test2 equals test is a, and then the arguments is the new name. So the parent is going to be the class we're passing in because we're using the method connector. So we're going to pass in a name, arguments, defaults, and private. Test2. So the arguments for test is name value. So we're going to say name value 1 and value 2. See, but that's not inheriting. That's just kind of copying. So I kind of want to go with my first plan. And I want to say instead of doing this, which is really simple, we're actually going to delete this for right now. I might rewrite that, but I'm going to redo this for now. I'm going to say local new arg list is equal to a table. and we'll say for kv in I pairs of parent.args, we're going to say new arg list k equals v end, and then for kv, I'm sorry, for this set we need to change it. We need to say for I equals length of new arg list I plus length args do new arg list I equals, we do need an offset. I was right at the beginning. Actually, we can just do another for loop for kv in I pairs of args do new arg list k plus arg offset equals v end. And what that'll do is copy the parent's args and then append the new args. So now when we go back to our constructor, we're going to say we pass in the parent, the child name. We're going to pass in new arguments. So it has name and value already. Let's say we add another one called new value. Now what if we pass in name is test2, value is 3, 4, 5, and we pass in 4, 5, 6 as well as the default arguments. Say it's private. We say test2 equals test2 new, pass in nothing, empty table. Actually, we don't even pass anything in. Does this run? Oh, we don't need that anymore. That's right. Oh, okay. So this is literally if args. That's right. Because if I want to make it so that you can do this, I have to say if there are arguments, go through it. 79. Why is that a problem? Maybe you do have to pass in an empty table. Right, and let's move these a little bit. So it runs now, and let's try to do print to string test2 0 60 no 0. And since test2 is a child of original test, these functions should all work on test2. And they do. So let's look at the values. This is test 1, 2, 3. That's right here. That's the value we sent to it, plus its name, appending that new value to string test. Test2, get name, test2, get all data, it appends its value, which is default, and its name, which is default, and 35, which we passed in, and toString test works. So that's all of the inheritance done right there. Alright, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to get into using this new class with some of the other cool projects I'm going to be doing. If you like this video, if you like this specific challenge of, writing a whole class library from scratch, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all the videos that I'll be working on, and I'll see you tomorrow.